It's setting up, it's launching. There we are. So we're live on YouTube. I'm live with Olga Bond. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you, Antoine?
Brilliant. It's a pleasure to greet you on our channel this time because we had a great stream together on your channel. It was really, really interesting to go in depth on deliberate practice, and your questions were just spot
Oh,
on.
thank you. I enjoyed it a lot, and we're gonna have another session. And thank you so much for inviting me today.
Well, you know, I've talked to you about this, and so all our viewers know the principle. I love these streams. Basically, what we do, I call them teacher activity battles.
All right.
So we surprise each other with activities. We do not know what we prepared for each other. That's the whole point. For each other to react just as students would to the activities. We're going to explain the goals, of course, explain the procedures of the activities, and we're going to play them out. I'm going to be your student. You are going to be mine. I love these.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So I planned, my idea was to follow up a little bit with our YouTube live stream on your channel about deliberate practice.
Right.
So we're not going to do deliberate practice. We're kind of going to do a fluency activity to develop fluency for the students and for the teacher to kind of test fluency. That's going to be a lot of fun. What have you planned for us?
Yeah, I also planned an activity which aims to practice fluency for students. It can be used with different levels if a teacher adopts or adjusts this activity. So you kind of will need a little bit of preparation in order to use it. But today we'll just play with it and to get the idea, and then I think we can always change it in even more creative activities, because teachers are so talented, so creative, that you kind of have the idea and then you change it completely, and here you have another activity, absolutely something new.
Absolutely.
And basically my activity, the main which I've chosen, is mainly used for the revision
All right.
stage of some particular topic. um, so yeah, that's basically the main thing.
Great. So if it's a revision activity, I haven't revised anything. Is that okay?
It's fine. It's totally fine. It should be kind of relaxing, also unexpected way for students, because it can be also used in the keeping in mind the recycling, probably in ELT, meaning that they could have learned already something a couple of months ago, and then you surprise them with some funny joking activities so that they really boost their memory in order to use what they have learned already. So it can be all adjusted and adapted on different stages. So kind of 5 lessons you taught a new topic, you can revise something with this activity, or you can use it for recycling. So it's all up to you.
Brilliant. Okay.
So
All
should we
right.
go with my activity or yours?
I believe so. I might be old-fashioned and a bit ridiculous, but I was going to say ladies first. But
Oh, but that's so sweet, you know. I'm also kind of retro person, so I appreciate it. Okay, so should I share my screen with you?
you should be able to share screen, I think.
Mm, let me try. Now it's disabled.
No, wait. Da-da-da. There you go.
Okay, thank you. So, all right, just a small rational. It depends which level your students are. So the text, because here we will be working with the text, you will see the text, but the activity would be oral, so kind of speaking fluency activity, right? I've chosen a little bit longer text for the reason that let's pretend that you are my upper intermediate or advanced level students. So it can be a little bit more fun. And yeah, so the text will be a little bit longer and a little bit more complicated, but it's all adjusted.
All right.
So share screen. Okay, share.
So everybody bear in mind that this activity can be changed. It just depends basically on the length and level of the text.
Okay, can you see it now?
Right now I can see your folder. I cannot see the text. You need to switch.
Oh, sorry. And stop sharing again. Check.
I like
What about now?
text. This is exciting. All right. Shall I read?
Actually, yeah, you have to, you see the text in front of you. You're reading the sentence, but you're already changing the words in red. And you are changing them into antonyms.
Okay. So right now I'm going to read the text and just change all the pink words.
All the words in red into their antonyms.
All right. So it was a terrible rainy morning, promising to bring us an awful day off. Honestly, it was an awful day off. We had nothing planned to do, only to rest, so we were willing to make this day even worse. As our favorite restaurant was only a few light years away, we decided to walk there along a noisy, horrible neighborhood street. As we got there, we were starving. We were starving, yet hence ordered a heavy meal, a large meal of the day, and some, the opposite of antonym of vintage, and some modern wine, some modern wine. The food was simply awful. Sweet, savory, or bitter? The bitter final note, I'll go with bitter here. The bitter final note for this tiring, exhausting day would logically be doing some meaningless shopping in that ancient brand new. I'll go with ancient. In that ancient, ugly shopping mall. Ancient, ugly. No, that doesn't go. Being really tired, but sad, we called for a cab, and Really Nice Wheels came, and we were brought home with a long, terrible drive. I think I've used terrible before. That was one of the worst days ever.
Oh my God, good job, you. So obviously, I'm sorry, I forgot because I'm a bit nervous. I forgot to tell you that imagine there is a kind of, naughty Sam who is complaining about his day off. So let's just pretend that you are Sam and you are saying this, all right? But very, very well done. So have you noticed what kinds of words you were changing? What kind part of speech those were?
Well, there were a lot of adjectives. So I was looking and I was trying to find different alternatives for terrible, horrible, all those adjectives.
Right,
mainly adjectives, right?
And you have a few nouns, right? So look, if you're adjusting it to different levels and actually to the time as well, which you're going to spend to this activity, so you can first go with only adjectives, then you go with only nouns, and then you go with, adjectives and nouns, and then adjectives, nouns, and verbs. So it can be 3 rows of the same text. So let's play with this as well, and you have the same text, Can you see it now?
No, you have to switch.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Mm, so then stop sharing.
It's a really nice activity. Is it always positive to negative, or do you have the opposite as well?
We're gonna comment it after that.
Perfect, perfect.
So it's the same text, but now you will see also some verbs, and I hope you remember the words which you used before.
You believe too much in my memory. Okay, yes, it's the same. Okay. So that was a terrible rainy morning, promising to bring us a horrible day off. We we had everything planned to do. We had something planned to do, not just to rest. So we were willing to make this day even worse, as our favorite restaurant was only a few light years away. We decided to rocket there along a with space. How can it be noisy? But never mind. There along a noisy, terrible, horrible, awful neighborhood street. As we got there, we were extreme. No, the opposite. Not really hungry. Not really hungry. So the opposite. Yes, we were absolutely starving. Yet hence ordered a heavy meal of the day and some modern wine. The food was appalling. The bitter final note for this tiring day would logically be doing some meaningless shopping in that ancient, ugly shop. In that ancient, ugly corner shop. Being really tired but sad, we called for a cab and really. Oh, it's a rocket. And a really tiny booster came, and we were brought home with a long, terrible drive. That was one of the worst days ever.
Brilliant, bravo to you. Oh my God, that was not easy. Now I will show you what I have, because when I was preparing the text, obviously I kept in mind my antonyms, right? However, answering your question, of course, you can, depending on how many students you have, how many pairs would you have, you can split your students into pairs and kind of give the text to one student, he is reading, another one is transforming, right? And then they can even write it down if you have much time, and then they can give exchange between pairs, so kind of negative text, then you make it positive and you compare that pair B made their positive text and you compare it with the original variant, for example. So you can go nuts with this, obviously, and of course you can work like pair with pair. So I mean, so many options here. Okay, so I'll
Agreed.
stop sharing and share with you.
I also like the fact that it's very useful. It's great for vocabulary. Um, I also like the fact that yes, it pushes. Well, there's good opportunity here to play with the glass half full, the glass half empty, as you said, playing grumpy, but sometimes playing overly enthusiastic, and I find that's always good to include in our lessons as well.
And yeah, I was actually shared this activity once by my colleague. So she shared it with me. She said I had so much fun during the class. And then I recalled that, very often our students are asking us for these kind of synonyms and especially antonyms. So it's a very good drill, basically, to, I think, practice it at any level. It's just, it depends on the length of the text, as you said correctly,
Absolutely.
because they very often kind of go with amazing or terrible or maximum horrible. But here you have how many options. So of course you can write down everything on the board or some lucid spark or Jamboard or whatever, and then again, have even more activities with those adjectives and antonyms. Okay, so there was a nasty dull morning promising to bring us an awful day. You used this one, and I believe dull you also used.
I don't think so.
Okay, so then awful. We had lots planned to do, not even to rest, so we were willing to make this day even worse. So we are in bad mood, we're complaining. So as our favorite restaurant was several blocks, I have several streets away, we decided to crawl. I'm sorry, I have not underlined it. Crawl there along a buzzing, ugly neighborhood street. As we got there, we were really starving or really hungry, yet hence ordered a heavy meal. So also heavy should be underlined of the day, and some cheap wine. I went with just cheap. Because vintage is something always expensive, right? Usually.
Usually it is. You're absolutely right. Usually
If we're talking about vintage wine, so definitely it should be expensive, right? The food was horrible. The bitter final note was the stressful of this stressful day would logically be doing some unimportant shopping in that old run-of-the-mill market. If you obviously introduced such word previously to students, being entirely tired and mad, we called for a cup and a really dreadful bone shaker. My students knew this word came, and we were brought home with a slow mean drive. That was one of the worst days. And of course, I like to keep everything positive, kind of to finish the class on a positive mode, so you can always go back to the just to highlight the synonyms or antonyms of these negative kind of words and bring even more positive synonyms to those, for example, so it can be like that. So I mean, it all depends.
And could you even yes, you're absolutely right. Could you even like I forget what's called that well, basically it would be a chain drill. So like if you have a group of students, so student A has the original, gives it to student B. Student B does antonyms. And then student B gives it to student C, and student C has to turn it back into positive. And so if you do that a few times, you'll be able to compare the positive and the negative texts. And I'm pretty sure you'll be filled with a number of synonyms and antonyms.
Absolutely. You see, as I said, creative teacher will always figure out so many options, and you can even turn it to kind of, I don't know, 10-15 minute activity, or you can turn it to the whole lesson. So it can be lots of interesting drills.
Now, I'm right in understanding that you write these texts yourself, right?
Well, it depends. If you have a good text in a book, so obviously you can use those with, for example, lower levels. You can take something more familiar, maybe just substitute a few words or just change a few expressions and present them something what they already knew. We went once with the even news article with the higher level students. So I had to adjust it, of course, and then we were comparing it to the original one as well. So once we were reading an extract from the book, so they had to go with the synonym. So kind of you see the text for the first time and you also change, kind of put in commas. Okay, so it was an awful, horrible, dreadful, or something else day, and you prolong the sentence into so many words. It's just on the go practice.
I like the idea of using the news as well. It's quite nice. I mean, unfortunately, most of the news is negative. So it would actually be. I think you just inspired me for one of my corporate IT groups because IT people they want to participate in small talk, in chit chat, and things like that at conferences, and yet I often find that they're mostly introverts. They often feel a bit awkward in chit chat and small talk. And I know that mine particularly dislike talking about the news, about politics, things like that. So actually, we could do an activity where we just take the headlines of the day and we turn them inspired by your activity, we turn them into positive stories. So they have to use antonyms first to switch the headlines around.
Yeah, it
And
sounds,
then make
wow,
some
wow,
kind of
it sounds
quick
fantastic.
report.
I hope they will like it. Absolutely. Brilliant. Oh, but by the way, actually, I'm not quite a fan of news, I have to tell you. So I'm not following the news just myself. I mostly read them in order to use somehow in the classes with the more motivated students or students who are fond of. But what I found out, because, politics or something economical, these troubles, we're gonna stay away during the ELT classroom and talk about something more pleasant. But this is life. They should be, of course, aware and be able to talk about these topics too. But many of the news portals, they have these different sections. So when you kind of choose only the cultural, these
Yes,
exhibitions or movies, even BBC, I think they have different sections. So, you can go nuts and choose different topics, different.
I agree. I do want to quickly show you because you brought up politics, and I do understand. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I think it's important for students to be able to talk about it, to give opinions, or even if they don't want to talk about politics, they need to be able to smoothly get out of that conversation. And
Absolutely.
it is a skill. It's not easy. And I too, I'm not a fan of bringing up real life politics in class because I find often it steals time away from valuable English speaking time. People tend to get very emotional. And so Tom and I have this great activity I do want to show you because you might find that useful. I know you work with IT people as well, and it is something, unfortunately, that sometimes they need to learn how to work with. So on resource education, we created this activity called Magic. Can you see? I'm sharing screen.
Yes, 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 I can see it.
An activity called Magic World Leaders Meeting. It's loads of fun because it's politics, but in a magic world context. So you can use these, you'll see there are cards for different leaders of different magical worlds, and they all have different agendas. And you can use these role plays in pair work, where two world leaders meet and they try to compromise, they try to find something that they have in common and some kind of deal that they can make based on their agenda. Or it can be a whole group activity, a bit like a G8 summit, but basically a G8 summit without the real world countries with these magic world leaders. Let me show you. So magic world, so you have a medieval king. His agenda is to increase his army size. He wants to, of course, import antibiotics against the plague because, medieval times, medieval world, it's tough. Different things like that. Get help with organizing a sanitary service. I like the last one. Recognize alchemist's degree in all universities.
Oh.
The modern people might be against it,
Mm-hmm.
Cancel witch trials moratorium. There's a witch world as well here, so they're going to be opposed to this, and they need to find some compromise. We have the Sea King, and there are pages and pages of these world leaders, the Candy Queen, the Caveman King. So this is a really good role play to do politics in class whilst avoiding real life politics.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so fantastic. It looks just awesome. And I already imagine that they will be laughing, talking about the politics and kind of confronting each other, but they will be laughing because it's all positive.
And you
Yeah.
can focus on the language instead of the emotional reactions to real life politics. There
Yes.
are pages and pages of leaders like that. It's lots of fun.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I hadn't planned on sharing that one, but yes, you brought up politics, and I really like your activity. I think it's important to have this dose of the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. In modern times, I find as you said, we played Grumpy Man. I was complaining about the worst day ever. And well, let's face it, you can always find something to complain about.
Yeah, of course. And nowadays do not consist only of sweet things, kind of candies. It consists of different emotions, so also to practice it.
Agreed. All right, very nice activity.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to mine, or have you planned?
I could share. I could show you just probably. We won't practice. Well, okay, we can practice. Um, so I was participating in the drama course by a fantastic trainer, and I just learned so much, so many things, so many different activities, and I will just show you one of them. It really will remind you the one you did with Christopher, because remember you had to pronounce, to read the information from your website with different emotions, different voice. So it really reminded me of this course of drama, because this trainer who was training us, he was initially an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became a teacher. He's a native speaker, so naturally he ended up being a teacher.
What's his name?
Paul Harvey.
Oh, I was thinking of someone else. Okay.
Okay, so this is Paul Harvey, and he shared so many fantastic activities with us for the warm-ups, for example, that we warm up our voice, our hands, our gestures, because language does not only consist of the words, right? So, of course, we need to warm up our students in an interesting way. But if talking about fluency and emotion, so here is this activity. Okay. Oh gosh, I think I'm not so skilled with my own PC. All right. So this one. So you have a dialogue, and you ask your students to read this dialect in pairs, so we can actually do it as very fast. So I will be A, for example, and you will be B. So we have right, we have a lady talking to her old mother, and mother, of course, forgets things. So naturally, this daughter or even a granddaughter would try to think of the emotions. How would she reply to her uh, grandma, for example, right? So I start. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I will be B because I am grandma. So you are
Why?
also grandson, obviously, right?
Why? I can be granddad. Look, I have the hairline to be a granddad.
Okay, so then I start. A. I did tell you
Did you?
more than once, actually.
I'm sorry, I forget.
Well, it's too late now.
But we can go next time.
Can go next time.
We can take Pat.
I don't think so.
Why ever not?
She's in Australia.
What?
You see, so you can introduce them the emotions, right? And check how well they present the emotions. And then you give them the same dialogue, but the situation is different. So we have a wife and husband who are not quite happy. They had the argument, right? And you can see that they are tired and stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's play that. I'm wife, your husband.
Not the other
And
way around? No? Are you sure?
you start.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So who is A, who is B? The same?
You can be A now.
All right. All right. I did tell you.
Remember, you are angry, tired, or stressed. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I quickly read, instead of reading emphatically, I read empathetically. Never mind. Okay, again, we're
Don't
tired and stressed. I did tell you.
Did you?
More than once, actually.
I'm sorry, I forget.
Well, it's too late now.
We can go next time.
We can go next time.
We can take Pat.
I don't think so.
Why ever not?
She's in Australia.
What? So you see, you can take one dialogue and create so many situations. So of course, I hope they will be laughing. And also there was one more for fluency. I just recall this is the last one I'll share because I'm really curious in yours. Probably many teachers know about this one. Kind of you give your students a pair or individual students or a group, just a list of words which are not connected to each other at all. I don't know, queen, banana, shop, or not even shop, a little bit lamp, and computer, and they have to create a story, right? So you give the time limit, they need to switch on the creativity and just complete it in, I don't know, 5 minutes and present it.
Mm-hmm. I have a variation for that. Again, on our website for teachers, we have an activity like that where was actually a supplementary to these kind of activities, cards with different genres. So you'll have Western, thriller,
Oh,
romantic comedy. I don't remember. There are plenty, science fiction, fantasy, and all those. And that's a little variation where students need to go a bit further. So yes, you have those words that are not connected. They need to make a story, but then you add a genre, and it gets the creativity juices flowing. You know, oh, Western computer. How are we going to put a computer in a Western story? But never mind. They always find a way.
yeah.
And the dialogue activity that you did, I love it. Yes, that's a very good one. I've done that as well with, because I have a few groups of teenagers and even tweens, 11, 12, 13 years old.
Oh,
And they really enjoyed taking little extracts from their favorite movies. Like, I want to say Harry Potter, but that's already gone. I don't remember what they brought up. Well, they had their favorite movies like that. They brought just a short dialogue from it. And then the one who brought a dialogue was officially the movie director. So he or she could choose the adverbs to use, and they completely
oh,
changed the dialogues. It's very funny.
oh, brilliant. Cool. I already imagine how it looks.
I love these sessions because really, teachers, we bounce off ideas off each other. As you said, teacher creativity, uh, it's fun. You hear an activity and you start thinking, you start applying it to your students, and you already see different avenues. You think about their strengths, their weaknesses, their needs. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually such a fantastic idea of yours to have such sessions sharing the activities. And I see that teachers who make such live interviews, so they have different variants. So I, for example, do the interviews where we just share more of theoretical experience, and you have the practical knowledge. So just take and use. And I imagine how much value it brings to teachers. So just you can watch 1 hour live and already have so many activities. So it's just such a wonderful work which you're doing.
So we complement each other. Teamwork.
Yay!
All right, my turn.
Yes.
So, well, actually, this is a bit of a classic for us at Resource Education, but I did want to do it because, so we had a great live stream on deliberate practice. And just again, to recap, deliberate practice is a very specific type of practice aimed at building reflexes, automatisms in the brain so that things become automatic. So of course, that focuses on not real life things. It's really focusing on the grammar, the lexic, the chunks, things like that. And we just build reflexes, and students are able to more and more focus on what they want to say instead of how am I supposed to say it? Oh my gosh. It starts kicking in, just like native speakers of any language. Now that's deliberate practice, and it's become an essential part of my lessons. But our goal with deliberate practice is to help students develop fluency. So later on, after a deliberate practice activity, I always need a fluency activity. And traditionally educated in English language teaching, of course, most of the time at the beginning, I used production activities, which are great. I love production activities. They're usually quite long. They're almost a little project in themselves sometimes. They can be 20, they can be 40 minutes. But there's something that I gradually started noticing in production activities is that students prepared. Any production activity has some preparation time. And so students, most students, notice what the teacher wants to hear. And they prepare and they deliberately use it. And it's fine. It's a necessary part of language development. I like it. I haven't stopped using production activities. But it didn't really help me see what my students had fully mastered. If we think of fluency in terms of fluency is being able to react spontaneously, then there shouldn't be preparation.
Correct.
So Tom and I started designing these practice activities that are between deliberate practice and production. They're short speaking activities. You'll see we'll have very short little dialogues. But the goal here is that there's no preparation time. The goal is spontaneous reaction. So it always starts with a conversation starter. We have all these cards with, on each card, there's just a line or two that student A reads and student B responds to. And naturally, you'll see they're designed with a bit of creativity, with a bit of fun. So they're engaging, so they will generate fun conversations between students. And basically, we're distracting the students. The students don't see it as really an activity. The first time we use these with students, they were really, we just read and just, yes, you do. And so what you see in these activities is only what your students master. They will not be able to, I don't know, pull out a present perfect or a mixed conditional like that if they haven't done it quite naturally in their mind. It comes out. So I'm going to show you different ideas for these short conversation starters. The goal is to get spontaneous reactions. So good luck, Olga.
Okay.
The first one I'm going to show is the simplest one to explain, and it's always the one I start my students on. It's called convince. Let's face it, in natural conversation, we try to convince each other of things all the time. It doesn't have to be big things like who to vote for or what to buy, but just even little things, where to have lunch, things like that. So each card has something that I'm going to try to convince you to think, say, or do.
Okay.
There's only one rule, Olga. You can't agree.
Okay.
So you handle it the way you can. You have to tell me that, no, sorry, Antoine, you can give me excuses. You can be offended by what I ask you to, anything you like.
Okay,
Just
but
you
not
can't
agree
to what I'm trying to convince you to do. All right?
All right.
All right. Let's start with the first one. Oh, Olga, help me finance my movie.
Sorry, movie? You want to watch a movie?
Yeah. Yes. I'm we teachers, we there's a lot going on in our lessons and everything. After 15 years of experience, I have so many stories. So I've written a movie.
You've written a movie?
Yes. But
what do you mean you've written?
Well, the script is ready. The scenes are ready in general. Now I need money for actors, for shooting, I need money. The script is ready. It is brilliant.
Yeah, so very good. Have you thought about any ways for how you can finance it?
Well, my first idea was that was that, you know what, Olga always looks fantastic. It must mean she's absolutely super, super, super duper rich, and she's going to want to finance my movie.
Um, yeah, you see, this is. Thank you for the compliment, first of all. You see, this is this first impression which we always have about people, but then
Oh.
if you think about it, it's kind of nothing special, you know. So I just sometimes I
Hmm.
actually make my own clothes, so it's no brand. It's nothing. Just don't think that
So
any
you're
kind
not
of.
super, super duper rich.
No, unfortunately, I
Okay.
cannot.
But you do make your own clothes?
Yes, the truth is
What?
I do.
Well, look, could you make costumes for my movie? And that will be helping me finance my movie in some way because I won't have to spend money on costumes.
I'm so thankful to you that you trust in me, but the thing is that I'm an amateur, I'm not a professional, so I just can do some small stuff and nothing special, you know. I would imagine that for your movie you would need some kind of extraordinary, maybe, or outstanding
Well,
clothes.
you know, I'm not a professional either. It's my first movie, so um, I really like your style. I think it'll be very good for the movie.
Oh, thank you so much. But wait, do you have a, I'm sorry, but do you have enough of time of doing the movie? You're such a busy person. Have you thought if it is a really good idea?
Very, very good point. Well, you know, it's the end of the academic year, so till we won't start before June, that's for sure. You're absolutely right. But summertime.
So are you trying to say that you think 3 months would be enough?
Well, my movie, you know, it's not Game of Thrones. It's not. It's a short movie about English language teaching. I think 3 months will be okay.
Yeah, all right. Mm, have you thought about the cast? Have you worked on
Not
cast
yet.
well?
You're taking drama lessons. Look, Olga, you are going to make costumes for my movie. You're also going to act in my movie.
But wait a second, I have not agreed. We have not discussed this costume thing till the very end. I have not agreed for that.
Well, I'm already sure that you will agree. I can't imagine that you wouldn't.
Wait, I mean, I value our friendship so much, but kind of feel a little bit pushed right now.
Me pushy? Never.
Really. So let's have a deal. What about you calculate everything, present me the total sum, and I, from my side, may promise that I will think of somebody else who is rich and for whom it will not be a problem to give you money just right now, and maybe I will even agree participate in your movie.
Brilliant, brilliant. That is all I needed, Olga. I knew you'd be there for me. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. That's what friends are for.
You see, it's loads of fun.
It is, it is. Oh my God, it's so unexpected. I mean, you play so naturally that at first I was like kind of lost. Like, what? Movie? What?
I,
Oh my God.
I have been doing these for a short while now, so it's difficult to surprise me. But Tom and I still publish new cards because we like being surprised, and we can't always be doing the same ones. But yes, thank you. I
You
know
know
I
the
get into these pretty well.
the thing which I admired is just looking at you, talking to you about the teaching stuff, and the way how you talk about your students is just, oh my God, you're the person who is absolutely in love with what you are doing, but not only in love, you are so skilled in bringing it to practice and sharing it with teachers like me, like everyone who is watching us. So it's just, thank you so much. These sessions are so valuable.
Thank you, thank you. That's so kind of you. It's compliment live stream today.
Yeah, I think that if we have the opportunity to complement each other, we should do it as often as we can because Especially right now, teachers really need, we always talk about the support, but what is support? Support is just saying, wow, you do a good job, you do a great job. That's support.
Agreed.
It's never like, too much.
Agreed. And let's face it, we're not especially the most recognized profession in the world.
Me not, but you.
Me?
Yes, come on. Conferences presenter, teacher
Well, yes.
trainer, materials creator.
Yes, I meant like to the rest of the world. Like teaching education is not always especially admired so much as some IT profession, engineering,
Okay.
taking people to Mars and things like that.
Yeah, we all know these personalities.
All right, some more?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I recommend starting with convince. It's because there's a clear framework. Students understand that one student needs to try to convince the other is trying to find excuses and trying to get out of it, basically. It's also very useful for most future tenses and things like that, because usually convince is about the future. So you can use these to test fluency with future tenses, with conditionals as well, because it's about compromises, things like that. It's quite adapted to that.
Yeah,
Now,
that's true.
for other tenses, we have a huge number of cards that are simply called shock. Shock, there's no rule. So Olga, good luck. You're just going to react to what I'm going to read, and we're
Okay.
going to have a short conversation. You're going to see it can go a bit any way. All right, let's go with this one. Olga, nobody knows my real name.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought this is for real. Okay. So what is it?
Well,
Can you tell me?
we're live on YouTube, so I think people might listen in.
I forgot. Oh my God.
Yes.
I was so shocked that I forgot. Will you ever tell me after the live?
Yeah, I'll send you by message, okay? Direct message.
But why would you choose your different name? Why do you use a different one?
Very good question. That's a very good question, Olga. Because you know what? My name is my real name is so magical that if anybody hears it, they'll all want to steal my name.
You mean steal, but magical, can you do some magic? Do you have some extra power?
Well, me personally not, but my name is like a magical spell. And
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So that's
Okay,
why I
so
won't tell you my name. I'll write it. Okay, I'll just write it.
okay. Well, again, I appreciate you sharing with me such a secret, but I have 2 points to tell you, one good, one bad. So kind of two news, bad and
Uh-huh.
good. Which one should I start with?
Let's finish with good. So let's start with the bad news. What's wrong with my magical name?
So we're still live. You remember we're still online.
Well,
And you are sharing this information and people will start texting you, kind of trying to persuade you, please share it with me. Aren't you afraid of that?
I will learn to be strong. I will learn to be strong. You know what? For some reason I thought that even though we're live streaming, if I whisper, people won't hear.
Okay, if
It doesn't work that way?
computer sound is not very good, someone might not hear you, so you kind of be safe for some little percentage.
Mission
Okay,
accomplished.
okay, I'm sure you will manage all the DMs boosting your Instagram. Okay, and the good news is that you are not alone. My name is also not real.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But my name is not magical. My name is just very famous. And I'm afraid that people will start confusing me with this famous person.
Really? Yes.
And By the way, I
I
keep
knew it. You're
told.
J.K. Rowling.
Mm, not really. I can also DM you. You know, I've been often told that I look like her.
As well?
No, not J.K. Rowling. The other name, which is my real name, and it's really the same name of the person, of the famous person, and people keep telling me that I look like her.
I think they're confused. I think they're confused. She looks like you,
Ah, okay.
and she took your name.
Yeah, and you see, she became famous before me.
It,
So what a
it's
life. C'est
it's
la
kind of
vie.
rude of her. I think it's kind of rude of her, honestly. She
Anyway, I like my new name, and it's unique.
Oh yes, absolutely. The first time I saw it, I actually heard in my head, Bond. Olga.
Yeah, like no one else has it.
It's really cool.
Wow, that's so funny. Oh my God. It's
It's
really
it's
fun.
loads of fun. Shock is just basically, and we have all these statements. So with convince, it is very likely that students are going to talk about the future, are going to make compromises. So it's a test of fluency, but you know what to expect. With shock, we basically have made so many different shocks, and some are sentences in the past, some are in present perfect. So we've made things that we can use to test fluency in loads and loads of different contexts. Here, I mean, nobody knows my real name. We mostly talked in present simple. It's just general facts about ourselves.
Yeah, that's so true. And actually, I have to tell you because I'm just experiencing this activity as a student, right? So it's exactly as you said. I completely forgot about any gram I know or something. I'm just, reacting with my sincere emotions. So obviously, I realize that we are kind of joking or playing, but still, the only thing I'm thinking about, like how to react in an interesting, funny way. So yeah, it's really natural.
It's very engaging. I'm always asked by teachers, I'm always asked, what if students are shy or don't know what to say? And I agree. The first 2, 3 times students do this, uh, the ones that are a bit more shy of nature, things like that, they are surprised but they observe what's going on. And as long as you don't do it as a demonstration, 2 students go at the beginning at the a board and do it in front of everybody else, that's a bit uncomfortable. If they're in their little pairs and everything, they start having loads of fun with this. And you know
Yeah,
what? The introverts are often bustling with creativity. Actually, it's just inside, and they lock it in. But when they're in pairs with a classmate that they know, that they have fun with, that they start opening up. And I really like these because they're a great test of fluency for us teachers. I can hear what my students master or not,
yeah,
but it helps develop their fluency because they have fun with the language.
exactly. So they really feel that they use it and enjoy it, not kind of drill or learn. So that's the whole point. Yeah, that's lots of pleasure for them, I'm sure.
It's loads of fun. Let's do one last one. So one more category. We had convince, we had shock. One more we call brag. It's good fun too. Let's face it. In language, we do also brag. It's not always like when people think bragging, showing off is like, look at me, I'm the best, but not always in that way. And these brag cards are loads of fun because you're going to put students in situations where they're bragging about some really awkward or strange things. I mean, I love this one. Olga, everyone tells me I'm very, very humble.
Mm, don't you feel so? Why you don't believe them?
No, I fully agree with them. I mean, that's exactly why I have a YouTube channel. That's exactly why I'm on Instagram, contact all the social networks I can. It's because I'm very, very, very humble.
Yeah, and I think you should feel so, and you can be even proud of it because you handle it so well. I mean, all the social media have so many followers, and that's the reason, actually. You see, this is kind of outcome of the. This is why it happened, because the quality led to the result.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, what better channel to follow, right? You
Yeah.
see how humble I am.
What do you usually reply to such compliment?
When people say I'm very, very humble, I simply reply that yes, that is one of many, many, many of my qualities.
Okay. And oh, what are your other best qualities you are proud of?
Oh, my best qualities. Huh. Well, apart from being humble, I'm also very strong, very confident, very sincere, very
I can tell, yes, I can
great
agree that
cook.
you are sincere for sure, telling me all the truth about yourself right now. So yes, and
I'm also a fabulous actor. I've had to say no to Guy Ritchie and Quentin Tarantino a few times now already. They really want me to play in their movies, but you
why
know,
did you say no to that?
yes, come on. Well,
Why?
how am I going to teach if my students see me
Oh,
at the cinema? You know.
but you see, if you became a famous actor, then you could give up teaching and be rich forever.
Yes, but I'm as you said at the beginning. I love teaching. I love the craft, and let's face it, Olga. If we wanted to be rich, I don't think we chose the right profession.
Oh my God, that's so true. Yeah, you know, you're at the right place for sure. And as I said, your students are so lucky, as well as we teachers.
To have a very humble Antoine, right?
Mhm.
I love these brag activities. The other one is I have an incredible vocabulary. It's glorious, fabulous, and even superhuman.
Yeah, so actually, if I got it correctly, a student in a pair, he can go like totally agree or disagree and saying, "What? No, you don't," or something like, "You are not."
These have a lot of variations, yes, and students have loads of fun with them. Um, you're right. They tend to at first agree with each other, but then you start introducing them and giving them options um, to question, to ask for proof, things like that. It's lots of fun. That I do by adding different elements to dialogues. For example, we have different relationship cards or different emotion cards. And so student B might get for example, an emotion card that says sarcastic, for
Mhm.
example. Uh, um, Something like that, demanding, anything like that. It's lots of fun. There are also relationship cards, which can really change the dialogue so much. I mean, we have, for example, today I brought ambassadors of foreign countries. So in this case, we would have a very formal conversation. Olga, I mean, we're ambassadors. Let's not offend each other. I mean, we don't want to start a war between our countries, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Award-winning actor and a fan. So that would be not formal, but very excited, from
Mhm.
one part, and the other very nonchalant and just I'm a star. And this is it's one of personally, it's one of my favorites and my students' favorites. Uh, Kindergarten classmates.
Okay.
Students have their convince card, for example, and then they take a relationship card and they say that they see that they're kindergarten classmates. It forces them to completely change the usual register they're in, and these kind of cards help students play a little bit more uh, with formality, different levels of formality, different levels of familiarity. So yeah, these
Oh,
are
these are
our
These
fluency
are
cards.
brilliant, just awesome. Oh my God. Cool. I love them.
It's loads of fun.
Yeah.
All
Wow,
right.
thank you for sharing those.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I love it. You see these activity battles? I mean, you inspired me, I inspired you, and I already have a few ideas. I have an IT group tomorrow morning. So I'm going to think about this thing we talked about with the news and working with synonyms, antonyms. I'm definitely going to
I
work on
have
that.
Uh, I'm also thinking about right now about this last activity we did, and I have a student, a new one, and she's afraid of speaking. She's so good. She speaks well. She does not make kind of much mistakes, but English for her is very difficult. So she told me, I kind of don't like it. I'm sorry it happens. But she says, I know that I need it because she has kind of, dreams for work, for career. She says, I know that it is necessary, but she's so good. She adores doing the homework. So she's really motivated, But this one can be so much fun, going sincerely, emotionally, kind of ask her to forget about this grammar, just relax the brain, and I already see that it will work so well with her. Oh my God.
For a student like that, I would recommend taking 2 cards as a warmer activity. It's kind of to get her to forget about real life, work day, things like that. Just completely dive in English, and 2 cards for the end.
Yeah,
Well, depending
awesome.
on how long your lessons are, of course.
We have a flexible schedule, so if needed, we can even go longer. I know that she will enjoy and such activity for sure.
Brilliant.
Wow, thank you for sharing it.
All right, mission accomplished. We're both inspired. We both have new activities, and we both have great ideas on what to do with these.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh my God, I totally enjoyed, and don't tell me that 1 hour already passed.
It already has. Um, even though it's engaging and you work on these, yes, time just flies by.
That's true.
All right. Well, based on what you just said, I think, Olga, I'm gonna have to plan a new live stream of activity battle with you then. If you think that was too short an hour.
Mm, we can go with that. I know that it
Yeah,
will be a total pleasure
sometime
again.
sometime in the summer with new fresh activities, and we'll surprise each other and inspire each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm for that.
All right? Brilliant. All right, Olga. But it has truly been more than an hour already. So thank you for the activities. It was really a pleasure to have you on Resource Education. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Our next live stream is actually not going to be on Resource Education. It's going to be on your channel.
Yes, that's true. And thank you so much for inviting me, Antoine. And our next session will be on my channel now. It will be on the 9th of June. So yeah, just guys, be kindly invited. Hope to see you all there. And we will continue with talking about the soft skills.
Yes.
That's what we're going to discuss.
A new topic, something new, something to get even fresher ideas. Brilliant.
Yes.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, and Olga, talk to you soon. Remember, I need to direct message you my real name.
Me too.
All right. Bye-bye, Olga. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely week. And it's the end of May, so a lovely end of the academic year as well.
Oh, thank you. The same to you, Antoine. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. The same to you guys as well.
Bye.
Happy teachers. Bye-bye.